these are the teams, if they were to play Florida State, they would beat them. Like, do you think that came up in the conversation when they were making this decision, or what do you think the final determiner was?
I know you're kidding, but there's some people that think you're serious when it comes to ESPN or me or anybody have any agenda or have anything to do with these teams. It's the committee that ultimately decides what's going to happen. We all have opinions about what we think, and I don't have an agenda on anything other than I just want to see, the subjective analysis of who the best 4 teams are. And I think the first thing is people are voicing an opinion who don't really understand what this is. I've been in the front row asking questions since 2014 when this thing started. I think the big thing, just to clarify everything, the first rankings come out, on this past weekend, and they go around the room, and it's pretty clear that Michigan is 1 and Washington is 2. What they call the next group of teams, so you already have those teams in, they refer to this as a cluster. So when you get to a cluster of teams, and you would have Texas, and you'd have Alabama, you'd have Florida State, Georgia, these are clusters of teams that the rankings could go whichever way. So once they get to the point where they know who the 2 are, that's when we got to it looks like they must have gotten to the cluster. So what you look at is conference championship. All those teams except Georgia were conference champions. They look at strength of schedule. This is the second thing. I'm reading it right off the list. Conference championship, strength of schedule, head-to-head competition is another thing. Comparative outcomes with a common opponent. None of these are weighted more than the other. And the last thing is other relevant factors, such as unavailability of key players or coaches that may have affected a team's performance during the season or likely will affect its postseason performance. That's where to me, that's what separated these teams. You couldn't put Alabama ahead of Texas. Texas beat Alabama. It must have put, based on all those things I just mentioned, they must have said Texas is going to go to 3, probably because of head-to-head. And then you got Alabama and Florida State and Georgia. So then you got Alabama beat Georgia head-to-head. You got the factors of injuries to Florida State. The committee must have taken that into consideration. And while it's impressive what Florida State did without Jordan Travis and winning at the Swamp and then winning in the ACC championship, and why they should be commended, obviously, for a magical and historic season, if you're comparing them without Jordan Travis in the last 2 weeks of the season and into the postseason to Alabama, who just beat Georgia, is one of the best wins, if not the best win of the year. I think it's pretty obvious that the team that should be there, based on the criteria of what the model says, the obvious choice would be Alabama.
We're going to 12 teams next year. Thank God.
Thank God.
Yeah. Thank God.
Thank God.
That's the right decision.
Thank God. Now, if I'm Georgia fans, and they can't be anywhere near as loud as Florida State fans, obviously, but if I'm Georgia fans, and I'm also pretty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 29 straight wins. 29.
Yeah.
Nobody in the history of college ball has done this before. And we lose neutral site, although it is in Georgia, by 3 to
a playoff team.
This Alabama team that's in there. That's our only, and we're back-to-back national champions. And if you look at our team, it's like, that team's a good team. That's a good team. It's like I could see them being pissed. I don't think I've heard anything from them. They're back-to-back national champs, so I guess they're just saying, "Hey, this isn't ours." But this system is just like, there's no chance they would ever get it all right. Like there's no way.
No matter what they came down with, they were wrong. It's one of those things. I think they ended up getting it right. It's not fair. I mean, obviously, anything. The fact that people think that there's an agenda about an SEC team or agenda against Florida State is, again, the most ridiculous thing. What Mike Norvell's done, where Florida State was 3 years ago to where they are now, that's a credit to him, and especially a credit to guys like Jordan Travis, who's been really the face of this turnaround over these last couple of years. So everybody's appreciative of the season they had. I'm sure the committee is. The fact we go to 12 next year, you wish it was this year. But the way I try to describe this to people is if Michael Penix in Washington had the exact same set of circumstances and the backup quarterback for Washington came in to finish their season and they won the Apple Cup and coming back to win that game, somehow beat Oregon and just inched their way out, and won a championship without Penix, we would have probably been looking at Washington in the same way we're looking at Florida State. If Jordan Travis is there, the committee would have really had their hands full in trying to separate these teams, because Florida State with him is a very, very different team. But it's great that we're going to go to 12. It's very unfortunate that, we have 5 Power 5 conferences. This year in 2014 are really the only 2 years that all 5 conferences had a champion that was deserving of being in. And this is the last time we had this kind of argument was all the way back in 2014.